Hey guys, I'm Sebastian.
I'm Christine.
And this is Ninth Island Connection, your weekly resource for all things Vegas. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. All we do is bring you Vegas. You landed on this video because you were searching for Vegas. You might as well subscribe. That's all that we do. And check out the description below so that you can see how you can watch our television show wherever you are.
All right, guys. Sebastian's very excited, as you can see, because we are back here in Vegas. And there's been a lot going around that Vegas is dead, that travel's down. That's a fact.
Well, travel is down. Travel has been down for 4 months consecutively,
Yes.
year over year from last year to this year. So that is a fact. The data, the numbers do not lie.
But in this video, we are going to share more about that, as well as what it is actually really like here in Vegas. We checked in on a Sunday. We're going to be here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we check out Wednesday, and we're going to bring you guys along so you can see for yourself what it's actually like here in Vegas.
And I like that we're doing Sunday through Wednesday because that's typically the slower part of the week.
Yes.
So this will really give us a gauge. If it's already supposed to be slower, then it should be like a ghost town,
Yes.
Sunday through Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, let's go get to it.
And as I mentioned previously, travel has continued to be down month over month. This is the 4th month in a row that travel was down. So some of the numbers here, this is just right off of the LVCVA and the airport website, 5.1% decline for April compared to April 2024. Passenger volume at Harry Reid was down 3.6% for both domestic and international flights. Hotel occupancy dropped by 1%, with downtown properties experiencing a greater drop-off than the strip properties. They were actually down 2.6% versus 0.4%. Convention attendance is actually up 14% though.
All right, guys, now that we got the stats out of the way, this is actually what it looked like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday while we were in Vegas. As you can see, there's a lot of people actually out, and it's shocking because it was so hot. I mean, it's summer in Vegas. Temperatures are usually in the upper 90s to even the low 100s. So it's hot to be walking around outside in the full sun. So seeing the amount of people that we saw while we were out over the 3 days was actually kind of surprising. Now, we stayed at Planet Hollywood, as we mentioned earlier, and so we stayed in the center strip area. So we really didn't explore the south end of the strip, like the MGM properties down on that side, or even really across the street, like for Aria and Cosmopolitan. And as I mentioned, it is hot in Vegas in the summer. So the furthest we walked, and thankfully through the properties, not always down the sidewalk like this, was down to Harrah's. Of course, some areas were more crowded than others, and certain times of the day were busier than others. But overall, it never felt like it was dead in Vegas. Was it as crowded as it can be? No, but that's why we like coming on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, because it is less busy. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Does this look like typical June in Vegas? Or does it look like Vegas is definitely slowing down when it comes to visitors? And of course, at night, it was a lot busier outside because the temperatures are way more comfortable at night than they are in the day.
All right, guys, let's take a look inside. And again, we stayed at Planet Hollywood, so we pretty much stayed in the center strip corridor for all of our gambling and eating and all that fun stuff. When it comes to whether or not it was busy. There's a lot of videos out there saying Vegas is dead. But you know what? Planet Hollywood, the tables stayed busy. You can see right here, there were always people gambling on tables. The slot machines, however, you can see how empty it is right there. And it definitely was busier on Sunday than it was on Tuesday. Lucky for us, we got to gamble on any slot machine that we wanted. One other thing that I noticed, and maybe it's because I'm getting old, I don't know. Planet Hollywood generally has louder music than the other properties, but it seemed like it was so loud in there. And maybe that's because there were less people. Or maybe they actually cranked up the music to make it seem like it wasn't as dead as it was. They recently did their sports book, and look at how empty it was in here. There was really just a handful of people. And this is how it was every day that we stayed. We stayed Sunday, checked out on Wednesday. This line here for Gordon Ramsay is pretty typical. We've actually seen it even longer though, all the way into the casino. Of course, we did spend a lot of time in the Miracle Mile shops because it is attached to Planet Hollywood. This area here by the V Theater was pretty busy, but you do have 3 restaurants here, the ABC store right around the corner, and this is the way to and from self-parking. So this is typically a higher trafficked area. The rest of the Miracle Mile shops was pretty dead.
Of course, with Paris right next door to Planet Hollywood, we did spend some time over there. Check out that guy. Now this area can get really crowded and congested, so this wasn't too crazy busy right here. Moving into the walkway that connects Paris over to Horseshoe, there was a lot of people around, but it definitely was not as crowded as this can be sometimes. Of course, we've walked through here before and it's been completely empty. So I guess you could say this is kind of mid-range. For me, there was definitely enough people here to cue some walk rage. I get a little walk rage when I'm walking through crowded areas and trying to get through around people. Is that just me?
With the WSOP happening at both Paris and Horseshoe, it was really busy over in that area. A lot of people come into town to enter and gamble. We always have a great time gambling at Horseshoe, and we did notice that the tables were a lot busier than it was at PH. But when it came to the slot machines, as you can see right there, it was pretty empty. There were a lot of people checking in though, so maybe when we were here, these guys were just coming to town.
And then we checked out the Cromwell, which is always quiet, so it's really hard to compare. There were people playing table games though.
Let's head on over to Flamingo. We did notice that for Flamingo, it was pretty empty. Look at this here, and this was just on a Tuesday afternoon. And this was what registration looked like at Flamingo. And this is right about check-in time, about 4 o'clock. So this was really unusual.
It was happening at O'Shea's, as you can see. We've seen this place empty many times. The Link Casino was kind of hit and miss depending on the area that we were in. But again, it's typically quieter during the week.
We did head over to Tea Time in Wonderland, which is on the 3rd floor of the Forum Shops. Afterwards, we did walk through the Forum Shops, and it seemed pretty busy. The casino did seem pretty slow, but you have to remember that Caesars is such a large property that people are pretty much more spread out than the smaller strip properties. It definitely was easier to walk through as it was less busy than usual.
And last, but certainly not least, we did head through Bellagio because we wanted to see the conservatory. Here's what the casino looked like there. And of course, as always, the lobby area is always full of people. I mean, we've definitely seen it more crowded than this, but this felt pretty busy to us. And of course, the conservatory is always busy, always people trying to get their pictures, stopping in front of you, jumping into your pictures. So, I mean, that's just always a typical thing at the conservatory. So no difference noted there. But this is a beautiful conservatory display that they have for summer. So definitely recommend checking it out.
We didn't get to the pool because we were actually pretty busy. But that's what the view was like from our room, and as you can see, it wasn't very busy at all. Across the street at Cosmopolitan, it was a little busier, but still not typical. With the renovated Go Pool now being open, it looked like that's where everybody was because, like you saw earlier, the Flamingo was pretty dead. Maybe they were just all at the pool. All right, so wrapping it up, we were there Sunday through Wednesday, and we typically stayed during those days because it's less busy in Vegas and we can do more. But this was like way off of typical years and our typical stays on the Strip. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. As always, we want to hear from you. Have you canceled your trip to Vegas? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the description so that you can see how you can watch our television show. And of course, hit us up on all our socials. We're Ninth Island Connection everywhere. Ninth Island Connection highlights Las Vegas businesses, entertainment, events, and activities on and off the Strip, keeping our viewers connected with the Ninth Island of Las Vegas. From local mom and pop restaurants to those owned and operated by top chefs, from kitchen action to the inspiration behind the dishes, we deliver the culinary creations of Vegas. From Las Vegas entertainers and athletes to all of the exciting activities and experiences around the Vegas Valley, we keep our viewers connected with all of the excitement that the entertainment capital of the world has to offer. Of course, we can't forget about the casinos that make Vegas, Vegas, with exclusive tours of the incredible amenities and beautiful accommodations, getting right in the heart of the casino floor action and entertainment, as well as interviews with casino owners, CEOs, GMs, and executive chefs. We bring the Las Vegas Casino into our viewers' homes. Highlighting lesser-known areas like the Fremont East District, the Arts District, and Brewery Row, we bring attention to these small businesses that have become fast favorites in the local community. We bring our viewers a complete Vegas experience. We also invite our viewers along as we venture into the great outdoors of the Las Vegas Valley, sharing short road trips, hikes, and the unique sights found in the Mojave Desert. Great people, great stories, great connections, only on Ninth Island Connection.